name's Louie. I'm going to talk about poi for a couple minutes. So I've been trying to think a lot about how I can refine the way that I practice, how I can be more intentional and focused and guided in the way that I practice so that I can better tackle some of these big concepts that I think about when I spin and put it into practice. Like, do it, but also practice it. Put it into practice. You know what I mean. So my big driving focus, one of my big driving focuses for this whole year basically, has been how can I expand my style, my spinning style, by incorporating my body more. Not just as like a vehicle for my poi, but as an interesting and active part of my spinning. So the way that's manifested mostly so far has been in a move to be a little bit more fluid and dancey in my spinning. I'm trying to pay attention to levels more. I'm trying to use my poi limbs more, my legs, my head, whatever, engage my chest and, really just incorporate my body more. That's been a cool challenge. I've been thinking about that old saying that people love, that your poi should be an extension of your arms. I think this is really, really good advice. It's centered on, being balanced and efficient in our spinning. When we say that we want our poi to be an extension of our arms, we want the energy that we put from our body through our arms to be manageable and level and balanced with the energy coming out of our poi. A way that I changed it up a little bit in my head, just semantically, but is to instead thinking of it not as the way that my poi is an extension of my arms, but how can I think of my poi as an extension of my whole body? Because certainly the way that I move my legs, the way that I move my torso or engage differently changes the way that I spin just as much as doing different weird crazy shit with my arms changes the way that I spin. So that's my driving factor. I was playing earlier with two littler concepts that I've been trying to explore. Pendulums was the first one. I really like pendulums. I like the way that they are lazy and comfortable and slow. I like that you can put a pendulum wherever you want. I really like that pendulums, by necessity, have to be slow and have to be kind of floaty and lazy, because if you put too much energy in trying to do a pendulum, you're going to get a spin, and as we all know, a spin is not a pendulum. Yeah, so the other thing I was working on, trying to incorporate, just practice, fuck around with, was right angles. I don't really know how to do right angles, or a lot of them yet, but I see people spinning with them all the time, and I think they're super, super cool. So hopefully it's something that I stick with and pick up a little bit more later in the future. With right angles, I really like the constriction, that you're constrained into the grid. You have to use straight lines. You have to hit a very specific angle that is super visually distinct. But even then, even though we're using straight lines and solid numbers and trying to be as perpendicular as possible, it can still be really flowy. You can still incorporate it into your whole body. You can make the right angle with different parts of your body and use negative space in cool ways. None of these ways that I know, but I have the idea in my head, which is why I want to play with it. So yeah, I want to show you a pattern that I came up with today. I'm kind of proud of it. I really wanted to actively make this pattern using these three principles: engaged body, pendulums, and right angles. So I did, and I'm going to show you the pattern really quick, and then I'm going to break it down, teach it, talk about it. So here's the pattern. I'll do it a couple times. It comes out of this horizontal stack. So ready, pattern is coming now. Oops, fucked it up. Pattern is coming now. Cool. Here we go. And I'll do it one more time, both ways through. Get your last look. Cool. So that's the pattern. Technically, it's really easy. I'm going to run through it really quick. Both arms are doing the same thing. It's a mirrored asymmetrical pattern. On your native side, you're making a right angle with your arm, and you're letting your poi do a pendulum. You really want your arm to be the driving force, and the right angle, especially in your arm, to be the driving force. As I was practicing this, I was really trying to get my shoulder as straight as possible, really work on this perpendicular coming down the middle of my body and out on my shoulder line. I really want to make sure my pendulum is as straight out as possible. I think it looks the best, I think it feels the best, and it really accentuates the right angle that you're making with your arm. On the other side, so you finish this right angle, you come out, extend, wrap, pendulum, wrap, out. It's a really basic repeating pattern. I don't know, you're just doing the same thing and then reversing it. That's with the right arm. The left arm, you're doing the same thing on the off side. On your left side, you're doing a right angle with pendulums. And on your other, you pop out, give it a wrap, let it pendulum, give it a wrap, and come back. So you just put those two together. This is really a pattern that you can totally master without even holding your poi. Just doing the poi fu, or whatever you want to call it, just arms. It really helps to have a mirror, I think. It helped me a lot because I've never really played with lines like this before. And it was fun to experiment with them. You can try to go, you can cross your arms and see what that does to the pattern. You can change the timings. I don't know. It's cool. It's a pattern I made. I really like the pattern. I'm kind of proud of it because it was the product of some really intentional spinning and practice. So even though it's not, I don't know if I love the way that it looks, but I think it's the kind of pattern that it's going to really help me expand on some of these ideas. And as I get more comfortable with it, I can put it in new ways and work on how to make right angles with my arms more interesting and more incorporated in my spinning. So that's some of my thoughts, that's some of my spinning. Yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna say. So, thanks.